screen.
Sam hasn't read the manual.
So if you look at the likes of handheld games that we have today, you know, things like the PSP, Nintendo DS, Game Boys, Game Gears, Atari Lynxes that we've had over the years, and you look back to the 1980s where all there essentially was fixed screen animation, LCD handhelds. If you ever remember any of them, you would have remembered things like Nintendo's Game & Watch series, and of course the Tomytronic 3D. Now this is something completely different even by today's standards. Yeah, it was created in 1983 by Tomytronic. Look at it. You know, this thing wouldn't look out of place if you put it on the science station on the Starship Enterprise. I mean, look at it. Check it out, the Tomytronic 3D. The one we've got here particularly is the Space Paranoid. No, it's the Sky Attack, not Space Paranoids. Yes, but we'll come to that later. So comparing it to any other handheld game, never mind ones that exist today and ones that have existed in the past, this is something completely different. It's got its little rubberized keys going on in here for your on-off, your left and your right. You've got your fire button, and this little window here, which also doubles up as its major flaw, and we'll get to that in a minute. Now underneath, they had the great decency to write the instructions on, telling you how to turn it on, how to turn the sound on and off, as if it wasn't already self-explanatory from the buttons on there, you know, on, off, sound, off, in case you missed it, and giving you the information of pressing the fire button and about your space tanks. And the game begins when only one space tank appears. Maneuver your space tank by pressing right and left control, and dodge the enemy laser of your space tank will be destroyed. And remember to press the fire button to shoot at enemy spaceships. Win points for destroying enemy spaceships and extra points in bonus fights. Game ends when your 3 space tanks are destroyed. Game speed increases through 7 skill levels with your space tank. Wow. You know what this thing reminds me of? The Virtual Boy. Anyway. Yes, so let's explain it in a little bit more detail. I've gone through the controls there and the window, which I'll get through in a minute. There was a number of these things released to do with cars and jungle attacks and spaceships, and this was the only one that involved the space tank. But anyway, yeah, so you look through here like a pair of binoculars and it projected a stereoscopic 3D image. However, it was about as 3D as a post-production Star Wars movie, so I wouldn't exactly expect a great deal of 3D effects from this, but of course, this was the 1980s, and it just shows that even in today's day and age, when everyone's obsessed with making 3D films and everything in 3D, that this obsession still harked back through the mists of time. So okay, enough of the looks of it. I mean, as I said, it's a very strange looking thing. We'll probably get down to doing some of the gameplay. And let's see if we can see the screen on the camera, shall we? This is going to be fun. Let's get some light going here. That's where it's on. We need some sound. If this thing wants to work. Yeah, we should have some sound. There we go. And we're on, I think. I can't see anything. Oh, just as I see it. No. I can't even see what's going on. I can only see the reflection in my own lens. Okay, this is the major flaw in the thing. Now, this thing didn't come with a light inside. You had to provide your own light source through this tiny window in the top. When they were building it, they obviously didn't factor into it, even in the 1980s, of putting a light bulb inside, even if it was a small LED. So you literally had to provide your own light source through this little window. Again, we'll get more into detail on that. We're going to need some light on the subject to be able to see this. So let's move in. Right, are we actually even on here? Oh, there we go. We'll get there eventually. Okay, we can just see it coming through there. Let's get the lens in. Apologies for the massive amount of reflection on there. Okay. We will get this. There we go, we can kind of see what's going on there. Okay, I think I've got too much see, you can see those little spaceships that look like throwbacks from Tron. And this is quite difficult to play in this sort of angle, but we'll give it a try. So let's start. Oh, there's my space tank. So left and right, left and right. I can't see anything because I'm trying to play it through a viewfinder. So as I see, you've got like a fixed place that you can only shoot. And do you know how it's as difficult enough as it is? Oh, I lost a life. I'm down to 2 space tanks. It's difficult enough trying to play this when you're looking through the viewfinder, never mind trying to do it through a... Come on! Die, 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 die. It's probably best if I just keep my finger on the fire button. I can't see what I'm shooting at, I'm just guessing here. Oh, we're doing quite well. Oh, bumholes. Oh, that's a bit of a better view. Yeah, it's probably best just to keep your finger held down on the fire button. You've only got one fixed shooting position, so you've got to hope that the ship somehow flies into your fire, and if it gets past you, it starts firing at you. I think I'm actually doing better at this than I actually was doing when I was actually looking through the actual... there we go. And I'm dead. So yeah, you can get the idea of how it works there. It seems to be a blatant rip-off of Tron in some ways. Right, another fun thing about this is when you're in the middle of a game you can't turn it off. Anyway, so yeah, that's the fun and interesting gameplay. Let's put the light back up here. So yeah, there's obviously different ways of playing this game. Obviously if you're going to do it at a table, you've got to do it with your elbows, or you've got to sit with it like this and clamp it to your eyes, like so. Which isn't, let me just say, isn't the most comfortable place to actually attempt to play the game. You know, I wouldn't necessarily say this thing was particularly portable either, as a portable gaming system goes. You're going to actually, if you want to play for an extended period of time, you've literally got to either set up some sort of support structure to place underneath it, so you might actually be able to play it like that. And I certainly wouldn't attempt to play it while walking around anywhere. And I certainly wouldn't attempt to play it while stood up either, because obviously if you're looking through the binoculars you can't see anything of what you're doing. So, and also don't forget to bring a portable light source. I suggest strapping a torch to your head, and never ever take this thing outside, or attempt to sit on a bus, or shop for clothes, take a dump, eat dinner, walk downstairs, anything of those sort of things. Anyway, as I've said, the Tomytronic 3D with its incredibly cheap plastic strap, it's a portable gaming system, but it doesn't fit in your pocket. You can't play it from anywhere apart from under a blazing light. And let's not forget there's the massive headache of watching a cheap stereoscopic image for long periods of time. But, you know, this thing could actually be hazardous to your health. Maybe we need to be into the 80s to understand it. It's a piece of shit. Okay, I have to admit, for its time, you know, for its time in the 1980s, it was awesome. I never actually owned one myself, but everyone knew a kid who did, and they always brought it to school and everybody wanted to go, and as memory served me, I love playing them. Maybe it's because, you know, now it's 2012, and that was nearly 25 years ago. So in conclusion, it's flawed, simple, talking point. In 1983 it was an amazing thing, as nearly all LCD games were in black and white with a D-pad and a couple of buttons. And this was something different. You know, maybe I'll be making a joke or two about it, but it was a solid piece of kit for its day. It gets people interested in what it is. Though I did attempt to give it to my Angry Birds playing 3DS playing son, and he looked at it for about 3 seconds before he dropped it on the table. And even though I have fond memories of this, it needs to be sent to its happy place, in handheld heaven, to spend time with the old Game Boys and the Tiger handheld games.
TV network.
Finish up, honey, and get to sleep.
Sam hasn't read the manual.